What's going on, everybody? I have a unboxing today of the electronics that are going into my YD2SX2 build, and some pretty cool stuff. Acuvance, I think I'm saying it correctly. I'm not sure, but I got some Acuvance stuff in the mail today, so we're going to be doing the unboxing, and hopefully later on today be doing the installing of it. I'm going to be doing a pretty clean build. I want to try to wire tuck everything. It's going to be pretty difficult with the servo location, with it like the floating horizontal or vertical servo. It's going to be hard to find a way to tuck it. What I'm kind of thinking is I'm going to run it in this rail all the way back. I think put receiver there. We'll get to it. I'm going to see what it's going to do. Current electronics that are going to go into it are the Futaba BLS 471 SV. It's a brushless servo, pretty quick and decent amount of torque. I love Futaba stuff. Their electronics are top notch. I've always used them even in my off-road days. Futaba is prime. I like their stuff. But that's the servo that will be going in it, as well as the R334 SBS receiver. It is diversity antenna, so we'll be hiding that down as well too. But that's what came with my 7PX. That's what we're going to throw in it. As well as the Futaba GYD 450 gyro. We're going to be running that as well. But again, this video is not about what current electronics I have. Once this is all done, I'll probably just do an entire build post or video, because we still have body, we still have a lot of stuff to do on this build. So yeah, let's get into the Acuvance stuff. First up is the Acuvance Xarvis, I believe is how they're saying it. Super nice speed control. If you haven't looked into them, I would definitely look into their stuff. Made Japan, super high quality. But we'll break it open. Obviously, it comes with the owner's manual and the ESC itself. So let's see what we get in here. It does come with the standard capacitor, aluminum housing, link sensor to the ESC plug. Comes with 12 gauge wire direct on it. I know some other ESCs come with 10 gauge, or maybe 12 gauge. I don't know. I ordered one, and I forget what gauge wire size. But this is nice. Their build quality is fantastic. I actually really like this ESC. It's pretty sweet. That over there. And then it gives you, obviously, the sensor wires and RX wires to the speed control, and some heat shrink and mounting tape. So gives you the basics in that box. So we'll there. And next up is the Luxon Agile, or Agile. Don't know how to pronounce all this stuff, so don't blast me on that one. I went with the 11.5T primarily due to just stock. They didn't have the 10.5 in stock anywhere where I looked. There are a few places online, but I don't shop at those certain places. And not only that, I looked at it. The 11.5T still has a high kV rating, still has the right stator. It had all the stuff. The 10.5T did it as well. So with ESC settings and stuff like that, I shouldn't notice huge difference, I don't think. But we're going to give the 11.5T a shot. First off, in the box you get the plugs, banana plugs for, I have seen photos of it, so I already know what those are for. You do get instructions, of course, and then inside here is the motor itself. This is why it gives you the banana plugs. They have a super sweet mounting system, so you can plug and unplug your ESC as needed. Again, Acuvance build quality is really nice. I like their stuff a lot. So yeah, and we also have the a bunch of connectors and stuff like that. This is the Chevalier Riaz capacitor. Works a little bit better than just the standard capacitor. Going to keep that voltage at a level basis and give us maximum performance out of our battery. So that's crucial. And then the S-Bus adapter. S-Bus adapter is for if you have a radio that is capable of making the ESC changes on the screen. I have a 7PX, so of course it will do that on the screen. So I wanted to run that as well. The fan for the ESC, they have two separate fans. I ordered this one. It's called the Ray Storm. I ordered this one just because flat out looks awesome. It's a solid aluminum piece with a fan inside, so I like it. And then this right here is just the adapter, or the update tool for the ESC. You do have to update it on the ESC to work with the S-Bus adapter. So that's all that. And we're gonna get it all installed, see how well I can tuck all these wires and stuff like that. All right, so we're gonna start doing hopefully a successful wire tuck. Just keeping the chassis looking clean. So I'm gonna kind of walk through what I do. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but it's just what I do. Again, this is a beginner channel, just going from the beginnings. I just have inspiration from a lot of the cars I've been seeing online. People spend a good amount of time, you know, making the chassis nice and clean. Especially what I found difficult was the servo wire. With it just kind of dangling right there in the front, you know, it's kind of hard to really keep it tucked in there where you're not going to see anything. But I think I found a way that's going to make it extremely tucked, not completely invisible. You're still going to see it in the front. There's nothing I really think to do to avoid that, other than if I ran a upper brace, the upper deck. If I ran the upper deck, I probably can run it up underneath here, which, I mean, we will. I'm trying to do this successfully without cutting any of the wires and repinning it, stuff like that, because I don't know what the final setup's going to be, and I don't want to shorten a wire and then later on need it longer. So this objective is to be as tucked as possible with maintaining the factory links, what I have working with the electronics. And then we'll probably do another video later down the way, or little videos of doing, you know, tucking this wire, because I know that's where that's going to stay. So with that being said, I did find one cool thing that I am going to do regardless. I don't think when I run the upper deck, I might run that route, maybe do that, and run the gyro separately. But from what I can see now is we're going to run the servo wire through. I've already unscrewed, I've already taken all the screws out of that. This brace on the side. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little slit right there so the wire can go in. We're going to clear out all this channeling and then make another slit coming right here. So that way the wire can come in, run through here, and then out right through here. Because I'm going to place the gyro right here on the chassis. And with placing that right there, I don't know if you can see that, right there, right in that area. And with putting the gyro there, we then can run gyro lead underneath the battery brace post underneath, run it along. There's going to be tape covering for the battery, obviously, and then it'll come right out here and put her on right there. Receiver is going to run right there. I'm going to do the same thing for the diversity antenna that I have here. I'm going to do the same thing as I'm going to put a hole right in there, then run the antenna all the way through here, and it doesn't look like I'm going to have to do any channeling for that. So that's nice. It looks like it's the depth is enough for this to lay flat in there. I'm going to run it out probably about here. Run it out here, and then I'm going to run the antenna mount right there. So this would be a real quick antenna mount, a little shorty guy right there. I think that's how I'm going to run it for now. I think that's going to be the best bet without running any, because buying this would be really cheap, and this would be the only thing that technically I'm cutting up. And later on down the road, if we have to cut and make smaller pins for the ESC stuff, then that's fine. But I'm trying to limit the amount of cutting or anything and working with what I have now. So yeah, I'm going to get this all going, get the channel cleaned out what I need, and we'll go from there, because worst case scenario is I mess this up and we buy a new one. All right, so I think it came out pretty good. I put little slots here and here in that guard that I was talking about before. Just grind it out a little bit inside. The channel for the antenna was perfect. I didn't have to grind down anything. It literally fits right in there. You don't have to do anything because it is a diversity antenna. It's pretty long, so I ran it all the way up here. Put a little antenna right there. Just keep it out of the way. Mounted the gyro right where I said I would, and then ran the wire straight from there. Just put some heat shrink over the top of it just so it's not all red, white, and black. Kind of cleaned it up a little bit. But, it looks pretty good. Like I said, I didn't want to cut any wires or do any pins yet. That was my main thing. And that's where the receiver's going to mount. There's my gyro wire. I think that goes to the first one. So right. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. Right there. So not bad. Mount all that stuff down in there. We'll tie it all up. Once we run all the other electrics, we'll tie it all up down in there, make it all tight, because we have a lot to mount back there. We have the S-Bus link and the ESC wire to come through there too. But I think it came out pretty clean so far. Pretty happy with it. So we'll just keep on going. I don't know how much more I'm going to get done tonight, but I'm going to keep going and see how far I get. But it is pretty easy to get that all cleaned up right there. Just make it a little nicer, you know. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not a full tuck, um, but you don't see any crazy dangling. You don't see any crazy dangling wires, which I don't like seeing wires. I don't think anybody really does. Just don't want a rat's nest. Want it to look really nice. So yeah, it's an easy way to hide some wires is in that channel right there. Yeah. All right, so we were having a little bit of difficulties with batteries and stuff last night on the Pro, so I wasn't able to record all of what I got done last night. I mean, obviously, we did get the steering routed. It took me a few tries to really get it concealed the way I wanted it. Um, I really don't like seeing a bunch of wires at all. I think it looks a little bit cleaner when you take time and don't have a rat's nest going on. So we're gonna pick it back up and finish where I left off after last night, and I'll show you basically everything that I've done. Here's with, I'll kind of show. We still have to do all this stuff. Don't mind that. But with the battery in, this is basically what the chassis looks like. So we'll just tuck those away for right now. I'm leaving this side right here so you guys can see over there. So what I've done is I've taken the sensor wire, the RX wire, ran them, and the S-Bus wire as well too, because we're running the Futaba S-Bus programming. So I took all those wires, ran it behind the plate back here, and then ran them underneath the transmission. There's a little spot down there that comes up before the adjustable block. Sorry, I'm way up there. Above the adjustable block, but you can bring it under the transmission and run your wires up underneath there. And then if we take the battery out, that's where you can see where I've ran the S-Bus wire is ran up underneath, or no, I'm sorry, that's the RX wire. It's ran underneath on this side. And then on this side, we have the sensor wire and the S-Bus wire running up underneath. I put a little zip tie on there just so it won't come back and hit the axle. If it does move or wind hits it or anything, it's not going to hit the axle or tear the wires and stuff. But running the antenna through here, steering ran through here and then out there to the gyro. This is underneath this pad, the battery pad, is where the extension for the steering is going into the receiver. So yeah, and Acuvance is really cool. They make short little wire for your fan back there, which is super nice. What we're gonna do next is I have to take the capacitor off here and put the new capacitor on, and we're gonna run it on this side right here. I'm gonna feed the wires underneath the plate. Like that. And then we're gonna mount them right there. So again, we keep that concealed option going. So that's where that's gonna go. The battery wires do. The battery wires. that's how we're going to run the battery wires. And then they'll literally connect right there and there. So we're going to run the battery wires there. We're going to take our A, B, and C wires, and we're going to run them like a little S. So we're going to run them along the side of those batteries and do something very similar like that. So it's going to keep nice and clean all the way around. But we're going to get into some soldering now, and I haven't done it for years, so this is going to be interesting, so to speak. All right, so we went ahead and got everything soldered in, and I'm pretty pleased. I'm pleased with the results. I haven't soldered in a while, but pretty happy with the way it turned out. Wanted to do the nice wire tuck look. Just super clean. Had a bunch of inspiration from a lot of the Japanese teams out there. I know a lot of people here in the States do it too. It's just making it look clean, super nice. But yeah, here it is. Like, pretty happy with how it turned out. Ran the battery wires right through here, so they just sit right on the back. Terminals plug right nice and neat. That's it from this direction, so that way the wires just come right through, right off the ESC, right over the top of the shock tower, and nice and neat through there. Wanted to keep it as close as I could to this top for bodies and stuff, because I do have the Gorilla magnetic incognito body mounts coming, and we're gonna have other things to build on this thing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy that this is done like that. It's really getting back into RC and first getting into RC drift. I'm pretty pleased with it. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry I didn't do like a whole build through it, but I mean it's just basically just me soldering. It's nothing. If you have these cars, you're soldering already, so it's nothing special that what I'm doing. Just simple soldering things. I did do the capacitor. Ran it, like I said, right down through the bottom, and then on that side, just ran it right on the correct terminals, so that way it's super clean back there. You look at it from any direction, and wires are tucked nice and neat. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and we can keep building. But for now, that's all I have for it. We've got a package coming in tomorrow, hopefully, for some more stuff. It's gonna be pretty rad. I'm excited to like run this car. Like, I think most of the time it's fun building these things. That's more of the enjoyment. Well, I don't know. Sliding this thing around is gonna be pretty damn fun. But I think doing all the meticulous, just hobby side of things is what just keeps you busy, keeps you intrigued with it, and doing the next thing, building the next kit, etc. That's a fun part of this too. With my girl being involved with it, that's gonna be awesome. My baby's way too young to do anything right now, but hopefully gets into it and digs it as much as I do. But if he doesn't, it ain't a big deal. I'm still gonna keep doing it. I have this and build real cars too. Well, thanks for tuning in again. I know this video probably a little bit shorter, a little bit kind of boring, but it might inspire somebody to do the wire tuck, or maybe you guys can comment in and let me know what I did wrong with my wire tuck. Again, this is basically a beginner story. So, or a beginner series. I've just been involved with RC and just very meticulous with anything that I build. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.